All right. Let's see. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna try to wrap up this, or I mean, continue on this painting. The music is a bit loud. This is a photo based on a photo by Loic Zimmerman, who's a director and photographer and painter and everything. And yeah, on the heavy paint side, I've been just messing more with sliders and knobs and stuff. So this is the current compromise. I think that maybe end up being the default. We've got size on a slider, and it's full length slider, and then we have color jitter on a knob and rotation on a knob. And I think this is a good compromise because we get the full size slider versus if we had color jitter combined in here, it would be taking up like almost half the space up here with the size slider, and it would make the size slider smaller. So I think this is nice. And then we also get rotation in here, where if we don't have the knobs, then rotation is going to be a little bit weird. Aside from that, the big thing is that the tools inventory is being worked on now, and it's like the old style now, where you just have all the tools there at once so you can see them all. And again, I think this will help discoverability for some of these less common tools, like for example pills. I don't really see people using it as much lately in the modern versions, and it's a really cool tool, but it's just harder to find now. So this is the old way, and it's much easier to find tools this way, or the ones that aren't in the favorites. Another change, sort of a slight change, but airbrush noise was changed from the, let me show you guys. Airbrush noise is now back to how it was in the old versions of Heavy Paint, so it's kind of cool. Let me show you what it does. Opacity should be none, actually. So yeah, it's a little bit more noisy, I guess, is how I would describe it. I think that'll be cool. It's a lot more crunchy and grainy, which yeah, shout out to Jojo for complaining to me about this, which I had kind of forgot how the old version worked, and I had to go digging into the archives to find this old texture that for some reason I replaced. I think somebody had complained that it was too noisy, and so I replaced it with this slightly less crunchy one. But anyway, now we have both in here. Let me get rid of this. So I don't know, let's try messing with this airbrush. So if I make a mask, I'll just make a mask of the street for now. Turn down the opacity on that mask, make a new layer, and clip it. So now we basically have like this clipping mask here. And then we can use Airbrush. This is the texture I want. Yeah, I do miss this airbrush. I don't know why I got rid of it. I've been doing a lot of this going around in circles stuff lately, and hopefully we'll be able to stop doing that. So here, I'll make that as a mask and clamp to it. Kind of has like a film grain look to it also. It's nice. Maybe I can make this size a little bigger. I think I'm zoomed in too much. I'm gonna zoom out. Hello, Mike J. Hi, Sina. How are you? All right. Put this up here. Oh, hello, Illustra. Thank you for the subscription. Whoa, too much. Oh, wait, what's going on here? Yeah, now I'm not used to the sliders anymore. It feels alien. But yeah, I did a poll a couple days ago on sliders versus knobs, and basically I think 80% of people like sliders more than knobs. So we're definitely gonna make sliders the default, or at least size slider should be default. I experimented with having size slider as a knob, but I think it's a failed experiment at this point. But who knows, maybe in the future it'll come back. I mean, it's still going to be there as an option for people that like it, but I believe in knob technology because a lot of music programs use knobs. I guess because music programs have so many settings to them that there's just no way to fit everything there if it's all sliders. So they're sort of forced into it. And also it sort of matches with how the hardware works too. Usually with audio hardware, everything is made of knobs, so audio people are used to it, but for some reason painters are not used to it, so it's a little bit uncomfortable for painters, I think, which is fine. But who knows? Maybe someday that'll change. Maybe, because the nice thing about sliders is they're very knobs are very space efficient compared to sliders, which matters a lot especially if you're working on a mobile or some sort of an interface that's very limited in real estate. So yeah. But I think I have, well, I was talking to I went to like a coding meetup thing the other day, and I was talking to somebody there who was she's like an interface designer professional. She works on websites and stuff, and she was saying that even if something is more, I guess, optimal, if the user is just gonna skip over it because they're not used to it, then it's not even worth it, right? Even if it's maybe 5% or 10% better by some metric, if nobody uses it, then it's 0% better, right? So I think I'm starting to understand that slowly, because I know, like, in general, I'm very stubborn with these kind of things, and I always think that I'm some sort of UI genius, and like these new ideas that I'm putting in are gonna revolutionize everything. But I'm slowly starting to, I guess, come back down to earth and be like, okay, there's certain things that people are just used to that you don't really want to mess with, because it's just gonna cause more trouble than it's worth. So yeah, easing into that now. I mean, heavy paint is still pretty weird, even without the knobs and sliders, so it's okay. As long as we keep it somewhat weird. It's okay. Because there's really no point to make a program that's gonna be exactly like all the other ones, right? You gotta have something different, if it makes sense, if it's better. Otherwise, just use what's already out there. If you don't believe you can do something better, right? Everything in moderation, I guess. You know, there's some things that just everybody can agree on in terms of UI that just are better. They're hands down better, like nobody's gonna disagree. And those are the things maybe that I should just focus on versus things that are sort of split or more, you know, controversial, and just save those things for later, possibly. I don't know. Like one suggestion, I think it was SGFX, I don't know their real name, but SGFX on the Discord was saying that it would be really useful to have a previous when you start using the knob, it would show you the previous value of the knob as a little line marker, and I think that would really improve the usability of it, because right now the main problem with knob is that you can't you can't match your previous, or you can't get very close to your previous value. It's a little bit hard because it jumps a little bit when you pull it out. Also, it's a little bit misaligned. I don't know why that's happening. I've been trying to figure that out, but I haven't gotten it yet. It's probably some wrong math that I have somewhere. Yeah, I think, yeah, knobs are good. Maybe another place where knobs might make sense is in here in the settings area, because this stuff in here, especially in the future when, let's say, there's 1,000 settings or whatever, then maybe you could have more stuff in there with knobs. But by the way, if you didn't catch the last stream, this is the new tool settings window. It's a little bit more interactive than the old one, where you can sort of see what the sliders do. So I think that's nice. For example, like texture saturation, random mapping. This randomizes the UVs. As you can see here, and the saturation, etc. And all the different modes are going to be in here too. And I know some people like the current version of this tools inventory where it's combined with the settings, but I'm gonna try it this way a little bit and see how it feels. Well, you can always go back to the old way in the future if it doesn't work out. I need to make line radial to be pressure by default. Line radial size pressure. And airbrush noise needs to be airbrush noise opacity none. Oh yeah, and then also the tools inventory needs to resize. Tools inventory resize to fit. Sorry, just writing down some notes so I don't forget. This in here is more orange. I think orange and green are the two colors that screw me up the most. Especially green. I never know what kind of green I'm looking at and just have to guess over and over until I get it. I usually don't even get it in the end. I just get something close enough. One more thing that's in this next update that's coming up is liquify tool, which I'm calling it liquify for now because it's sort of similar to the Photoshop liquify tool if you've ever used that. But maybe it could use a better name because liquify isn't. It sort of makes sense, but it's not totally descriptive. But let me show you guys what liquify does, in case you've never seen it. So this is liquify here, and it lets you sort of whoa. Oh my god. Hey. So yeah, that's liquify. I think it's a pretty cool tool. It's not perfect, but you can try to like reproportion your drawings a little bit like this. It's probably better to do it on a line drawing than a painting like this, but I don't know, it's kind of fun. Maybe he has a more what do you think? Is this better? Oh man. I wonder how many of the users are not. I don't know if you're making a joke there, but yeah, I wish I could call it something other than a knob. I don't know what the. Is there another way I can call this type of control? Because I always feel weird calling it a knob. But if you're not making a joke, we did do a survey over the weekend on Instagram, and like I think something like 70 or 80% prefer the slider for size. So yeah, liquify is a bit of a cheating type tool. You don't have to think much, you're just like wobbling stuff around. I wonder if I could do liquify this way. Whoa! Oh shit. I like this version. Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it like that. It's pretty amazing. The only problem here is it you know, pixelates it a little bit, but you're gonna get that with even like the Photoshop version of this tool. It does the same thing, so it's hard to preserve the quality when you're smudging around like that, like a maniac. Psycho brush. Yeah, so maybe a little bit of cleanup here, so it doesn't look so messy. Kind of like how it is though. Ugh. I hope Loic is okay with me butchering his photography here. So liquify really is not a special tool. It's just using smudge mix mode with this kind of half circle gradient. So you could use a solid texture and just make it, it would be like a hard smudge, like, whoa, well, not like that, but you know what I mean. So the texture controls it. Whoa. Okay. Nods? I don't know. I think I need to get this, the badge to sit a little bit more on top of the pocket, if that's possible. Because it looks like he's sort of just slumping a little bit. Oh, what did I do? What did I do? I need a undo performance should be a lot better in this version, but still not perfect. It needs to go back farther and rebuild versus, yeah, I know how, I have an idea of how to make it better for the next version. But at least this version, there's going to be a much higher undo limit, like, or I mean, fast undo limit. So you can, yeah, I think it's like 60 or so now, or 70, versus before it was just 5, I think. Had to get a little creative to get that to work. It should be okay now. I want to try to get this at least. You guys see how it's kind of soft right on this edge, then it's really sharp over here, and then it's soft again. So it's like a Z shape. Let me just do that. Z shape in general. And then the top is a little bit soft. Like that. I'm just using fill gradient here to sort of blend this. You can also use blur to do the same thing, but maybe much smaller for this edge here. Trying to soften up some of the edges in the face. But not all of them. We're just softening the parts that are, you know, more fatty or fleshy, like the eyelids and the cheeks. Maybe over here. But there should still be edges, definitely, like these hard shadows. Hello. Hey, Ben. Hello, Miblert. How did I learn to program? From YouTube. All YouTube. Never taken a programming class before. I've just watched a lot of YouTube. Okay, I think I'm noodling a bit. This can be a little brighter. Ah, I screwed up the street, didn't I? Yes, I did. Look how curved it is. Do you guys think streets are flat? It's a lie. Streets are round. Yeah. I don't like how the background came out too much. you considered learning C++? I'm curious about Rust. I keep hearing that Rust is everybody's new favorite, and that Rust is like a more modern version of C++, and that you can really do everything that you could do in C++, but it's simpler a little bit. So yeah, maybe I'm gonna try looking at Rust a little more seriously in the future. You learned programming for Blender first? Yeah, that's how I kind of got the bug, I guess. But it's all pretty similar. Um, but yeah, if you're trying to learn, I think that's a good way to start. Is just by maybe trying to write scripts or plugins or something for an existing program, like Blender, and then it's just easier to do that because you can kind of see how other people do it. I mean, you can do this with any type of programming, but you basically just want to copy some stuff, change little things here and there around, like switch the name of a button or something like that, and then see what happens. And then if you get excited by that and you want to do more, then the rest is just, you know, lots of Googling. But that's basically how it started for me, at least. But yeah, I remember being very excited when I saw the first, you know, my first script or whatever working, and just thinking like, wow, this is like magic. And I just wanted to keep learning. All right. I think this one is pretty much done for as far as I wanna go with it. Oh, there's more detail in the street too. Maybe I should, or the sidewalk. Let's put this line on top. Go back to the airbrush for this. With this kind of thing, it's a lot easier to do the big airbrush first, the big gradients, and then go back in and do the little harder edges, versus the other way around would be kind of a nightmare. So the order that you do stuff matters a lot for this kind of thing. So yeah, that was pretty easy with just that specific order. Maybe just a little bit of noise over top of everything is good. Right? Because this has a very film grainy look, cinematic look. All right. All right, guys. Thank you for joining in. Yeah, this version should be up soon. I'm pretty close to being finished with it. Excited to get this tweaked interface out to you guys. All right. See you next time. Bye bye.